Listen up. You want to succeed, you want to win, then you got to have that wolf mentality. See, a lot of people want success, but they got a sheep mindset, waiting for permission, waiting for someone to tell them it's okay to chase their dreams. Not us, not today. Wolves don't wait for an invitation. They take what's theirs. They don't beg, they hunt. Let me tell you something. Life is a jungle, and in the jungle, there's only two types of people: wolves and sheep. Sheep follow, sheep wait, sheep get devoured. But a wolf moves with purpose. A wolf is relentless. A wolf grinds when nobody is watching. You see, a wolf doesn't need motivation. It's built different. When it's hungry, it hunts. When it's tired, it keeps moving. When it's hurt, it keeps fighting. And here's the thing, wolves roll with a pack, but they can also stand alone. Some of you out here are waiting for a crew, waiting for approval. Nah, you got to be willing to walk alone until the right pack finds you. I need you to lock in right now. I need you to tap into that beast inside of you. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more blaming circumstances. You are a wolf. You were made for this. So get up, get out, and go hunt, because success ain't given, it's taken. A wolf doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't sit around hoping that something good will happen. It moves with intention, with focus, with the understanding that survival depends on action. Every single day, it wakes up with one thing in mind: the hunt. It doesn't ask if it's the right time. It doesn't hesitate, second guess, or overthink. It goes, it moves, it acts. Too many people wake up every day waiting for something to happen. They wait for the perfect moment, the right conditions, the ideal scenario. But that's not how success works. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who chase it down like a wolf chasing its prey. You have to be willing to take what's yours, not sit around hoping it falls into your lap. The world is full of people who talk about what they're going to do. They say they have big dreams, big plans, but they never take the first step. They never put in the work. Why? Because they're waiting. They're waiting for the fear to go away. They're waiting for someone to come along and give them the green light. They're waiting for motivation, inspiration, or some kind of external push. But a wolf doesn't need a push. A wolf doesn't wait for the right conditions. It moves through the storm, through the struggle, through the unknown. When a wolf sees an opportunity, it doesn't hesitate. It doesn't waste time questioning whether or not it's ready. It goes after it with everything it has. And that's the difference between winners and losers. Winners don't wait until they feel ready. They take action even when they're scared, even when they're unsure, even when they're uncomfortable. They understand that the perfect moment will never come, so they make the moment perfect by stepping up and doing the work. Think about the people who have made it: athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. None of them sat around waiting for success to knock on their door. They went out and got it. They didn't ask for permission. They didn't wait for approval. They didn't let doubt hold them back. They moved like wolves, attacking their goals with an unstoppable mindset. A wolf doesn't care if it's tired. A wolf doesn't care if it failed yesterday. A wolf wakes up and goes again. It doesn't sit around complaining about the struggle. It doesn't waste time making excuses. It keeps moving forward, keeps hunting, keeps pushing. Too many people let fear stop them. They're afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid of stepping outside their comfort zone. But a wolf doesn't fear failure because it knows that failure is part of the hunt. Sometimes you chase and you miss. Sometimes you give it everything and you come up short. But the wolf doesn't stop hunting. It doesn't sit in the woods feeling sorry for itself. It regroups, refocuses, and goes again. This is where most people fall short. They try once, they fail, and they quit. They let one setback define them. But that's not how wolves operate. Wolves understand that persistence is the key. You have to keep going. You have to keep fighting. You have to keep showing up no matter what. A wolf knows its worth. It doesn't wait for someone else to tell it that it's strong, that it's capable, that it's a leader. It knows. And that's the mentality you need. Stop waiting for approval. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Believe in yourself. Step up. Take control. Go after what you want like a wolf chasing its prey. Full speed, full commitment, no hesitation. In the wild, A wolf that hesitates starves. A wolf that second guesses itself gets left behind. And the same is true in life. You can't afford to hesitate. You can't afford to overthink. You have to trust yourself, trust your instincts, and move. The problem with most people is that they want guarantees. They want to know that if they take action, it will work out. But life doesn't come with guarantees. The only guarantee is that if you don't take action, nothing will happen. If you wait, you lose. If you hesitate, someone else will take your spot. Someone else will get the job. Someone else will start the business. Someone else will live the dream that you were too afraid to chase. A wolf doesn't care about obstacles. When a challenge comes, it doesn't stop and complain. It doesn't back down. It finds a way through, over, around, whatever it takes. And that's how you have to approach life. You have to be relentless. You have to be fearless. You have to move forward no matter what. Most people stop at the first sign of resistance. They try something, it gets hard, and they quit. But a wolf keeps going. A wolf doesn't expect things to be easy. It expects the struggle. It embraces the grind. And that's the difference. That's why the wolf wins. Look at the world around you. The people who win are the ones who refuse to wait. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for confidence. They don't wait for someone to give them permission. They act. They move forward whether they feel ready or not. You have to adopt that mentality. You have to train yourself to take action even when you're unsure, even when it's uncomfortable, even when fear is whispering in your ear, telling you to wait, because that's all fear does. It tries to slow you down, tries to keep you stagnant. But fear doesn't exist for the wolf. The wolf moves despite the fear. The wolf pushes forward no matter what. Every single day you have a choice. You can sit back and watch opportunities pass you by, or you can attack. You can hesitate, or you can move. You can wait, or you can go get it. The ones who wait, they get left behind. The ones who move, they take what's theirs. A wolf wakes up hungry. It doesn't wait for food to be handed to it. It doesn't hope that something will come its way. It hunts, it chases, it fights. That hunger is what separates it from the weak, from the ones who wait, from the ones who make excuses. Hunger is what drives the wolf to keep going even when it's tired, even when it's in pain, even when the odds are stacked against it. The hunger for survival, for dominance, for victory, that hunger is what keeps the wolf alive. Too many people want success, but they don't have the hunger. They say they want it, but their actions don't match their words. They talk about grinding, about hustling, about putting in the work, but when it's time to actually do it, they hesitate, they sleep in, they procrastinate, they let distractions get in the way. They want success, but they don't want it bad enough. A wolf never hesitates. A wolf doesn't let comfort get in the way. It doesn't wait until it feels like it. It moves no matter what. A lot of people think hunger is just about wanting something, but hunger isn't about wanting, it's about needing. A hungry wolf doesn't just want food, it needs food. And that's how you have to approach success. It can't be a preference. It can't be something that's nice to have. It has to be something you need, like you need air, like you need water. You have to want it so bad that nothing can stop you. No setback, no rejection, no failure can shake you because your hunger is greater than any obstacle. A wolf will travel miles for a meal. It will face the cold, the storms, the dangers of the wild because it must eat. It doesn't have the luxury of quitting. It doesn't get to complain. It doesn't get to say, I'll try again tomorrow. It has to go all in every day because survival depends on it. That's the mentality you need. If you really want to succeed, you can't approach it like it's an option. You can't be half in, half out. You have to commit fully. You have to be willing to push yourself past your limits, past your comfort, past your doubts. Most people quit when it gets hard. They start strong, but the moment they feel discomfort, they pull back. They let fear and doubt convince them that maybe it's not worth it. A wolf doesn't think like that. A wolf doesn't stop when it's tired. It stops when it's done. It stops when the hunt is over. When you're truly hungry for success, quitting isn't an option. You don't stop because you're tired. You don't stop because it's hard. You don't stop because it's taking longer than you thought. You keep going because the hunger inside you is too strong to let you quit. There are a lot of people out there with talent, a lot of people with potential, but talent and potential mean nothing without hunger. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't just skill, it's drive. It's that relentless, obsessive hunger to be better, to win, to dominate. That hunger is what separates the wolves from the sheep. Sheep are comfortable. They stay in their safe little box. They follow the crowd. They do what's easy, what's convenient. But wolves don't care about comfort. Wolves don't follow. Wolves take charge. A wolf doesn't sit around waiting for the perfect conditions. It doesn't say, I'll hunt when it's easier. It doesn't wait for the right weather, the right mood, the right moment. It moves now. That's what hunger does. It pushes you to act even when conditions aren't perfect. It pushes you to grind even when you don't feel like it. It keeps you moving forward when most people would give up. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they lack hunger. They get comfortable. They settle. They say, I've done enough. Instead of asking, what more can I do? They let temporary satisfaction kill their long-term potential. But a wolf never gets comfortable. A wolf is never satisfied. It's always hungry, always looking for the next hunt, the next goal, the next level. That's the mindset you need. You have to wake up every day with that hunger in your eyes, that hunger in your soul, that hunger that refuses to let you settle. Hunger is what makes the difference when things get tough. When you hit obstacles, when you face rejection, when you get knocked down, hunger is what determines whether you stay down or get back up. Weak people let failure break them. They let disappointment shake them. But those who are truly hungry, they take that pain, that rejection, that struggle, and they use it as fuel. They let it make them stronger. They let it make them even hungrier. Some people are only hungry when things are going well. They're motivated when everything is smooth, when they're seeing progress. But the moment things get tough, they lose their drive. They let setbacks kill their motivation. A wolf doesn't let adversity stop it. If anything, adversity makes it even more dangerous. The harder things get, the more focused it becomes, the hungrier it gets. That's how you have to be. You can't let struggles make you weak. You have to let them make you stronger, more determined, more relentless. There will always be distractions trying to pull you away from your hunger. There will always be temptations, excuses, people telling you to slow down, to take it easy. But a wolf doesn't listen to the noise. A wolf stays locked in. It doesn't let anything take its focus off the hunt. And that's exactly how you have to be. You can't let distractions slow you down. You can't let negativity weaken your hunger. You have to stay focused, stay driven, stay locked in on your goal like your life depends on it. Hunger means doing what others won't. It means working when they sleep. It means grinding when they rest. It means staying disciplined when they get lazy. That's the cost of greatness. That's the price of success. You can't have what wolves have if you're not willing to do what wolves do. Most people look at successful people and envy what they have, but they're not willing to do what those people did to get there. They see the rewards, but they don't want to put in the work. They don't want the struggle. They don't want the grind. But you can't have the glory without the grind. You can't have the success without the sacrifice. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes. Hunger isn't just about working hard. It's about working smart. A wolf doesn't just chase randomly. It strategizes, it adapts, it studies its prey. It knows when to move, when to strike, when to be patient. You have to approach success the same way. You can't just work aimlessly. You have to be strategic. You have to learn, grow, adjust. Hunger without strategy is wasted energy. Hunger with intelligence, that's unstoppable. No one is born with this mindset. It's built, it's trained, it's developed through discipline, through commitment, through an unshakable belief that nothing is going to stop you. It's built by showing up every day, pushing yourself beyond your limits, refusing to be average. It's built by embracing the pain, the struggle, the adversity, and using it to make you stronger. Hunger isn't just a feeling. It's a lifestyle. It's a mentality. It's a way of moving through the world with purpose, with power, with the mindset that nothing will stand in your way. Hunger is what separates the weak from the strong, the average from the elite, the ones who talk from the ones who take action. A wolf does not need an audience to do what it was born to do. It does not need applause, recognition, or validation to hunt. It hunts because it must, because survival depends on it, because it knows that without the grind, there is no success. A wolf moves in silence, relentless, committed, and focused, whether anyone is watching or not. That is what separates it from the weak. That is what makes it a force to be reckoned with. Too many people work hard only when they think someone is watching. They give their best effort when there's an audience, when there's a spotlight, when there's someone to impress. But when they're alone, when nobody's paying attention, they cut corners. They relax. They slow down. They convince themselves that it doesn't matter. But that's why they never reach the top. That's why they stay stuck in mediocrity, wondering why others are winning while they remain in the same place. The real work is done in the dark. The real grind happens when no one is there to cheer you on. The ones who truly make it, the ones who dominate, the ones who rise above the rest are the ones who grind in silence. They don't need a crowd to push them. They don't need validation to stay motivated. Their hunger, their drive, their vision is enough to keep them moving forward. A wolf doesn't announce its moves. It doesn't howl to let the world know it's about to hunt. It just hunts, it stalks, it prepares, it waits for the right moment, and then it strikes with precision and force. That's how you have to move. Stop talking about what you're going to do and start doing it. Stop looking for approval. Stop seeking attention. Stop trying to impress people who don't even matter. Just put in the work. Stay disciplined. Stay focused. Grind when no one is watching. The problem with most people is that they want the rewards but don't want to put in the effort when the cameras are off. They want the success but don't want the lonely nights, the early mornings, the unseen hours of relentless effort. They want to shine, but they don't want to struggle. They want to be great, but they don't want to suffer for it. That's why they fail. That's why they remain stuck in the same cycle, repeating the same excuses, blaming circumstances, instead of looking in the mirror and realizing that their lack of discipline is the real problem. A wolf understands that the process is everything. It doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't sit around waiting for motivation to kick in. It moves with purpose, with consistency, with an unshakable drive that refuses to be weakened by distractions. It doesn't seek comfort, it seeks progress. It doesn't waste time looking for shortcuts. It does what needs to be done no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets. Most people give up when the excitement fades. They start strong, full of energy, but the moment things get difficult, the moment the results aren't immediate, they quit, they slow down, they lose focus. But the ones who truly succeed, they don't let emotions dictate their grind. They don't wait until they feel like it. They don't make excuses when things get tough. They show up every single day and put in the work, whether they're motivated or not. A wolf doesn't wake up wondering if it feels like hunting. It doesn't question whether or not it's in the mood to chase its prey. It just goes. It knows that hesitation means starvation. It knows that waiting means losing. That's the mentality you need to have. You can't afford to sit around and wait for motivation. You can't afford to let laziness creep in. You can't afford to be inconsistent. Discipline is what separates the winners from the losers. It's easy to work hard when the excitement is fresh, when everything feels new, when people are watching and praising your efforts. But can you still push yourself when no one is clapping for you? Can you still grind when there's no reward in sight? Can you still wake up and go to work when you feel exhausted, unmotivated, discouraged? That's the real test. Most people don't understand what true commitment looks like. They work hard when things are easy, when the path is clear, when success feels close. But the moment obstacles appear, they start looking for a way out. They start questioning whether they really want it. They start convincing themselves that maybe it's not worth it. But a wolf never questions the hunt. A wolf never second guesses its purpose. It moves forward no matter what. It doesn't stop when it's tired. It stops when the mission is complete. The greatest athletes, the greatest entrepreneurs, the greatest leaders all have one thing in common. They outwork everyone else when no one is watching. They don't rely on motivation. They don't wait for the perfect conditions. They understand that success is built in the shadows, in the quiet hours of unseen effort. They know that the real battle isn't won in public. It's won in the silent moments of discipline, in the lonely hours of sacrifice, in the relentless pursuit of excellence when no one else is around. A wolf doesn't need external validation to keep going. It doesn't need applause to stay focused. It knows its purpose. It knows its mission, and that's all it needs. Too many people waste time seeking approval. They look for permission to chase their dreams. They wait for someone to recognize their effort before they give their best. But that's not how greatness works. That's not how success is achieved. If you need someone else to push you, you've already lost. If you need recognition to stay disciplined, you're not truly committed. The ones who make it, the ones who dominate, the ones who rise above the rest are the ones who grind in the dark. They don't need a stage. They don't need a spotlight. They are driven by something deeper than external validation. They are driven by a hunger that doesn't fade, by a discipline that doesn't break, by a mindset that refuses to settle for anything less than greatness. Most people want quick results. They want instant success. They don't want to put in the years of work that it takes to truly master their craft. But a wolf understands patience. A wolf understands endurance. A wolf knows that true success isn't about speed. It's about consistency. It's about showing up every single day, putting in the work, grinding in silence, trusting the process, and staying committed no matter how long it takes. The problem with most people is that they're addicted to attention. They want to be seen working hard. They want to be noticed. But the real killers, the real wolves, they don't need attention. They don't need validation. They don't need anyone to tell them they're doing a good job. They just work. They just grind. They just keep moving forward. A wolf doesn't flex, doesn't brag, doesn't waste time talking. It doesn't have to. Its results speak for themselves. Its success is proof of its grind. While others are busy showing off, a wolf is busy working. While others are waiting for the perfect moment, a wolf is already halfway to the finish line. That's the mentality you need. Work in silence. Grind when no one is watching. Move like a wolf. Focus, relentless, unstoppable. A wolf does not back down. A wolf does not hesitate. When a challenge appears, when an enemy stands in its way, when the odds are stacked against it, a wolf does not retreat. It does not fold under pressure. It does not let fear dictate its decisions. It stands its ground. It fights. It dominates. That is what makes the wolf the apex predator. That is what makes it feared, respected, unstoppable. Too many people run when things get hard. Too many people break when faced with resistance. They want success, but the moment obstacles appear, the moment adversity knocks on their door, they start looking for a way out. They make excuses. They convince themselves that maybe it wasn't meant to be. They let fear, doubt, and struggle shake them. That's why they never reach their full potential. That's why they stay stuck, why they keep losing, why they watch others rise, why they remain on the sideline. A wolf doesn't flinch when confronted with danger. It doesn't run when faced with competition. It thrives in adversity. It embraces the battle. It welcomes the fight because it understands that the struggle is what makes it stronger. The weak avoid pressure. The weak run from difficulty. But the strong lean into it. The strong see obstacles as an opportunity. The strong don't complain about the weight. They learn to carry it. You don't build strength by avoiding challenges. You don't develop resilience by running from struggle. Every great champion, every great leader, every great warrior has been through pain, has faced failure, has been tested by the fire of adversity. What separates them from the rest isn't talent or luck. It's their ability to stand firm when things get tough. It's their refusal to give up, to break, to retreat. It's their relentless mindset that says, I will not stop. I will not surrender. I will not back down. Most people want success to come easy. They want the rewards without the fight. They want the victory without the war. But a wolf understands that nothing worth having comes without a battle. It knows that strength is built through resistance, that every struggle, every setback, every loss is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become even more dangerous. A wolf doesn't cry when it's wounded. It doesn't sit around feeling sorry for itself when things don't go its way. It doesn't waste time blaming others, making excuses, or waiting for someone to come save it. It licks its wounds, it rises back up, and it gets back in the fight. That's the mentality you need. You will get knocked down. You will experience failure. You will face rejection, betrayal, loss, but how you respond is what determines whether you stay where you are or whether you rise above it. Most people let failure define them. They let one setback, one mistake, one loss convince them that they're not good enough. They let the pain break them instead of build them. But a wolf doesn't allow one failed hunt to determine its future. Doesn't quit just because it came up short. It learns, it adapts, it gets smarter, faster, stronger. That's how you have to approach every challenge, every difficulty, every hardship. Weakness isn't something you're born with. It's something you accept. It's a mindset. It's a decision. The moment you decide to stop fighting, to stop pushing, to stop believing in yourself, that's the moment you lose. That's the moment you become prey instead of predator. But as long as you refuse to quit, as long as you refuse to surrender, you are still in the game. You are still dangerous. You are still a threat. A wolf never apologizes for being strong. It never shrinks itself to make others comfortable. It never plays small to avoid intimidating the weak. It stands tall. It embraces its power. It walks with confidence, with purpose, with the knowledge that it was built for this. Too many people water themselves down. Too many people dim their own light because they're afraid of standing out. They're afraid of what others will say. They're afraid of making people uncomfortable. But a wolf does not ask for permission to be great. A wolf does not seek approval to dominate. A wolf simply is. You have to stop waiting for the perfect conditions. You have to stop looking for an easy path. There is no easy path. There is no shortcut. The only way to the top is through the struggle, through the grind, through the battles that will test you, break you, push you to your limits. But if you refuse to give up, if you refuse to back down, if you refuse to let fear and doubt control you, nothing can stop you. A wolf understands that strength is not just physical, it's mental. It's the ability to keep going when every part of you wants to quit. It's the ability to stay focused when everything around you is trying to pull you off track. It's the ability to silence the noise, block out the distractions, and lock in on your goal with an intensity that cannot be shaken. Most people give up long before they reach their full potential. They settle for good enough. They accept mediocrity because pushing beyond their limits is uncomfortable. They let fear of failure keep them from even trying. But a wolf doesn't settle. A wolf doesn't accept average. A wolf pushes itself beyond what it thought was possible. It doesn't stop at good enough. It pushes until it reaches dominance. You have to understand that the world does not owe you anything. Success is not given. It is earned. It is taken. It is fought for. And if you're not willing to fight, if you're not willing to go all in, if you're not willing to sacrifice, to struggle, to suffer for what you want, then you don't deserve it. A wolf does not expect handouts. It does not wait for opportunity. It creates it. It does not wait for permission. It takes what it wants. That's the mentality you need. You can't afford to sit around waiting for life to get easier. You can't afford to let fear control you. You can't afford to let obstacles stop you. The question is not whether life will challenge you. It will. The question is not whether you will face hardship. You will. The question is, how will you respond? Will you fold? Will you break? Will you let the pressure crush you? Or will you rise? Will you fight? Will you stand your ground and refuse to back down? Most people want to avoid the fight. They want to avoid the pain. They want the rewards without the struggle. But you can't have one without the other. The struggle is what makes you stronger. The pain is what makes you wiser. The fight is what makes you unstoppable. A wolf does not hesitate. A wolf does not second guess itself. A wolf does not let fear dictate its moves. It acts, it moves forward, it takes risks. It embraces the unknown because it knows that hesitation is the enemy of progress, that overthinking leads to failure, that doubt is a weakness that must be crushed. You will never achieve greatness if you are afraid to take risks. You will never reach your full potential if you let fear hold you back. Fear is an illusion. Fear is a test. Fear is there to see if you are truly committed to what you say you want. Most people fail because they let fear win. They let doubt talk them out of their dreams. They let the fear of failure keep them from even trying. But a wolf doesn't entertain fear. A wolf moves with confidence, with certainty, with the unshakable belief that it was born to win. That's the mindset you need. Move like a wolf. Fearless, relentless, unstoppable. A wolf moves with precision. It does not waste energy on unnecessary actions. It does not chase after distractions. Every step it takes, every decision it makes is intentional. A wolf does not wander aimlessly. It knows exactly where it is going, exactly what it is after, and exactly how to get it. That level of focus is what separates the weak from the strong, the average from the elite, the ones who dream from the ones who do. Too many people lack direction. They move through life with no real purpose, no clear vision, no defined goal. They drift from one thing to the next, easily swayed by distractions, influenced by other people's opinions, caught up in things that do not serve their mission. That is why they never achieve true success. That is why they spend years working hard but getting nowhere. Because effort without direction is wasted effort. A wolf does not waste its energy. It does not chase every opportunity that crosses its path. It does not get distracted by things that do not contribute to its survival, to its purpose, to its dominance. It locks in. It identifies its target, it plans its approach, and when the time is right, it executes. That is how you have to move. You have to know exactly what you want. You have to be precise in your actions, intentional with your time, ruthless in your focus. Most people fail because they lack discipline. They allow distractions to pull them away from their purpose. They start something, get excited about it, but then lose focus when things get difficult, when the results are not immediate, when something new and shiny grabs their attention. They hop from goal to goal, from idea to idea, never fully committing, never locking in, never seeing anything through to completion. That is the difference between the ones who succeed and the ones who don't. The ones who win are the ones who stay locked in. The ones who refuse to let anything pull them away from their mission. A wolf understands patience. It knows that every move must be calculated. It does not act out of impulse. It does not make decisions based on emotions. It waits, it watches, it studies, and when it strikes, it does so with full force, with full commitment, with full certainty that it will win. That is how you have to approach your goals. You cannot afford to be careless. You cannot afford to waste time on things that do not push you forward. You cannot afford to allow distractions to derail your progress. Most people are busy, but they are not productive. They confuse movement with progress. They confuse effort with results. They think that just because they are working hard, they are getting closer to success. But without focus, without direction, without a clear plan, they are just running in circles. A wolf does not run in circles. A wolf moves with precision. Every action it takes is deliberate. Every step it takes is in alignment with its purpose. That is the level of focus you need. Too many people spend their days reacting instead of creating. They wake up with no plan, no structure, no clear objectives. They allow other people to dictate how their time is spent. They get caught up in distractions, in meaningless tasks, in things that do not bring them closer to their vision. That is why they never reach their full potential. That is why they look back years later and wonder why they are still in the same place. Because they never learn to lock in. A wolf does not let the environment dictate its action. It does not move based on what is happening around it. It controls its own path. It follows its own instincts. It does not allow external circumstances to throw it off course. It does not make excuses when things get hard. It adapts, it adjusts, it finds a way. Most people lose because they allow their focus to be broken. They allow setbacks to distract them. They allow failure to discourage them. They allow obstacles to convince them that maybe they should give up. But a wolf does not give up. A wolf does not allow anything to pull it away from its goal. If one path is blocked, it finds another. If one strategy does not work, it adjusts. If one approach fails, it tries again. But it never stops moving forward. You have to understand that focus is a skill. It is not something you are born with. It is something you train, something you develop, something you sharpen through discipline and repetition. The greatest achievers, the most successful people, the ones who win at the highest levels, all have one thing in common. They know how to eliminate distractions. They know how to stay locked in for months, for years, for decades without letting anything pull them away from their mission. Most people let temporary emotions dictate their long-term success. They work hard when they feel like it. They stay focused when things are easy. They push forward when motivation is high, but the moment they get tired, the moment they get bored, the moment they don't see immediate results, they start looking for something else. That is why they fail. That is why they never reach mastery. That is why they never dominate, because they do not know how to stay locked in when the excitement fades, when the process gets difficult, when the results are not yet visible. A wolf does not chase every scent it picks up. It does not run after things that do not contribute to its survival. It is selective. It is strategic. It understands that energy is a resource and that resource must be protected, must be used wisely. Most people waste their energy on things that do not matter. They give their attention to negativity, to gossip, to distractions that do nothing but drain them, weaken them, hold them back. That is why they stay stuck. That is why they never become great, because they do not know how to protect their focus. You have to become ruthless with your time. You have to become relentless with your focus. You have to be willing to eliminate anything and anyone that does not align with your purpose. That means cutting out negativity. That means removing distractions. That means saying no to things that do not serve your mission, even when they are tempting, even when they seem like good opportunities. A wolf does not chase every opportunity. It chooses wisely. It locks in on the right one and it goes all in. Most people struggle because they are afraid to commit. They are afraid to fully lock in. They keep one foot in and one foot out. They hesitate. They leave themselves an escape route in case things get hard. But that is why they fail. That is why they never dominate, because they do not go all in. A wolf does not hesitate. A wolf does not entertain doubt. A wolf makes a decision and commits fully. You have to stop being distracted by things that do not matter. You have to stop allowing every little setback to break your focus. You have to stop letting failure shake your confidence. You have to stop allowing temporary emotions to control your permanent decisions. A wolf moves with intention. A wolf does not allow anything to break its focus. A wolf does not get caught up in things that do not push it forward. The question is not whether you are willing to work hard. The question is, are you willing to stay focused? Are you willing to lock in for months, for years, for as long as it takes? Are you willing to ignore distractions, to push through setbacks, to stay committed to your goal no matter what? Most people are not. Most people allow life to dictate their actions. But a wolf stays locked in no matter what stands in its way. That is the mentality you need. Move with purpose, move with precision, move with unbreakable focus. A wolf is relentless. It does not stop when it is tired. It does not stop when it is uncomfortable. It does not stop when things get difficult. It stops when the job is done, when the goal is reached, when the mission is accomplished. That is what separates the strong from the weak, the winners from the quitters, the ones who succeed from the ones who spend their lives making excuses. Most people quit too soon. They start with excitement, with energy, with motivation, but the moment things become difficult, the moment the results are not immediate, the moment they face resistance, they begin to question themselves. They hesitate. They start looking for an exit, for an easier way, for a reason to stop. That is why they never reach their full potential. That is why they never accomplish what they are capable of, because they lack relentlessness. A wolf does not question itself. It does not hesitate. It does not stop moving forward just because the path is difficult. It keeps going. It keeps pushing. It keeps hunting, because it understands that survival depends on its ability to endure. That is the key. Endurance, the ability to keep going no matter how tough it gets, the ability to push through pain, through setbacks, through exhaustion without losing sight of the goal. Most people lack endurance. They are only willing to work hard when conditions are perfect. They are only willing to push forward when things are easy. They are only willing to chase their goals when they feel motivated. But the moment obstacles appear, the moment they get tired, the moment they feel discouraged, they stop. They make excuses. They convince themselves that maybe it wasn't meant to be. But a wolf does not need perfect conditions. A wolf does not need everything to be easy. A wolf thrives in adversity. You have to develop the ability to keep going when everything inside you is telling you to stop. You have to learn how to push through exhaustion, how to fight through setbacks, how to keep moving forward even when progress is slow, even when success seems far away, even when every part of you wants to quit. That is what makes the difference. That is what separates the champions from the rest. Not talent, not luck, relentlessness. Most people allow temporary discomfort to keep them from permanent success. They let a little bit of pain stop them. They let small setbacks discourage them. They let obstacles make them forget why they started in the first place. But a wolf does not stop just because the hunt is difficult. It does not give up just because it failed the first time. It does not back down just because the goal seems far away. It keeps going. It keeps fighting. It keeps hunting until it wins. You have to stop expecting things to be easy. You have to stop waiting for the perfect moment. You have to stop looking for shortcuts. The only way to succeed, the only way to reach your full potential, the only way to win is through relentless action, through consistent effort, through the kind of endurance that does not break, does not waver, does not quit. A wolf does not wait to feel motivated before it hunts. It does not need inspiration to take action. It does what it must do because it understands that its survival depends on it. That is how you have to move. You cannot afford to wait until you feel like taking action. You cannot afford to wait until everything is perfect. You cannot afford to wait for permission, for motivation, for an easy path. You have to take action now with what you have, with where you are, with the circumstances in front of you. Most people waste time waiting. They wait for the right moment. They wait for the right opportunity. They wait until they are ready. But a wolf does not wait. A wolf moves. A wolf takes action. A wolf understands that time is the most valuable resource, and every moment wasted is an opportunity lost. If you want to succeed, you have to develop that same urgency, that same hunger, that same relentless drive that pushes you forward no matter what stands in your way. A wolf does not concern itself with failure. It does not let past mistakes slow it down. It does not waste time dwelling on what went wrong. It learns, it adjusts, and it keeps moving forward. That is the mentality you need. You cannot allow failures to break you. You cannot allow setbacks to stop you. You cannot afford to spend time feeling sorry for yourself. Every failure is a lesson. Every mistake is an opportunity to get better. Every setback is a chance to grow. But only if you keep going. Most people take failure as a sign to quit. They let one bad experience convince them to give up. They let one mistake define their entire journey. But a wolf does not quit after one failed hunt. It does not stop chasing just because it missed the first time. It does not hesitate just because things did not go as planned. It keeps going. It keeps fighting. It keeps hunting until it wins. You have to develop that same resilience. You have to stop letting failure slow you down. You have to stop letting difficulties discourage you. You have to stop allowing obstacles to make you forget what you are capable of. A wolf does not allow the difficulty of the journey to make it forget the reward of the hunt. It does not allow short-term pain to keep it from long-term success. That is how you have to move. That is the mentality you need. Most people give up right before they succeed. They quit when they are tired. They stop when things get hard. They walk away when success is right around the corner. But a wolf does not stop just because the journey is long. It does not give up just because the process is difficult. It does not slow down just because it is tired. It keeps going until the mission is complete. You have to develop the ability to push past exhaustion, past frustration, past difficulty. You have to train yourself to keep going when every part of you wants to stop. You have to remind yourself that quitting is never an option, that backing down is never an option, that failure is only permanent if you accept it. A wolf does not make excuses. It does not complain. It does not blame others for its circumstances. It takes responsibility. It takes ownership. It understands that success is not given, it is taken. That is how you have to think. If you want success, if you want greatness, if you want to win, you have to be relentless. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes, no matter what stands in your way. Most people want success, but they are not willing to pay the price. They are not willing to sacrifice. They are not willing to push through the pain, the exhaustion, the difficulty. They want success as long as it is convenient, as long as it is comfortable, as long as it is easy. But a wolf does not hunt only when it is easy. It does not stop just because it is tired. It does not give up just because the challenge is great. It keeps going, it keeps pushing, it keeps fighting until it wins.